On Rastelli's premium pork ribeye steaks. Customer Choice Food Award winner for Best Grilling Food. Over 25,000 people voted, and this is voting by you. It is our customers who vote, and this is one of your favorites. Now, this is not a pork chop. We're going to explain. You get to eat every single bite and the most tender piece, and these are the biggest we've ever done. That is a half a pound each. You're getting 8 of the 8-ounce premium pork ribeye steaks. Everything that you're seeing here with M88481. Start ordering because we have no auto delivery, so you might want to get multiples because these are the cream of the crop.
They are.
Congratulations on all of your Customer Choice Food Awards. But this one itself won. Why do you think that is?
Well, it's really about where we start, right? With this particular premium pork, Terry, we start in the Pennsylvania Dutch Amish country. This is pork that is the finest pork in the world because they're handled properly, they're really maintained. But the key with this is that it's a ribeye steak. Now, I kind of get upset when people say, is it a pork chop? Well, it's not a pork chop, it's a pork ribeye steak. And here's the reason why. Look at the moisture inside of the product. When you think about being able to cut a pork chop with a knife or a pork steak, but you know what? You can treat it just like a pork chop if you'd like. If you'd like to just bread it, you can bread it. If you want to season it and flatten it out, you can do that. But it's all about where it comes from. And this has been an award winner, not just here, but Terry, I will tell you, in the butcher shop for 47 years.
Wow.
This is what everyone goes for. They come in week after week and ask for the pork ribeye steak.
Well, it's something you've never had before, unless you've had it. Have you ever seen a pork chop, and I hesitate to call it that because I don't want to offend you, with that much moisture, that succulent, I mean, I've got to take a bite of this.
Well, I'm gonna cut it with a fork for you because look at this.
Yeah, you can cut it with a fork.
Look at this, right with a fork. Now, think about that. You could, here you go, Terry. Try this one right here. It's nice and tender. It's incredibly moist. And when people taste this, they say to me, Ray, I've never tasted pork like this, ever. And there's a reason, again, it's premium pork. And it's a ribeye steak. So we all know how important the ribeye is, right? It's the most marbled, it's got the most tenderness, the most juiciness. Well, that's why I chose to bring this pork ribeye steak. And look at the juice inside of this. This is what I think is really important. When you can see a pork chop that does that,
I've never seen that
or
before.
a pork, you never do. And when you can do that with a knife, and look at this with a fork.
Cut it with a fork.
With a fork, right through every single slice. It's so incredibly tender. And everything you have done with chicken or with veal, you can do that with this pork. So whether it's a pork parmesan, a pork Milanese, my favorite, which is just pork fried steak.
We have an update already. 600 to go around. There is no auto delivery. Pick up multiples. We don't always have these, and they are an award winner voted on by you. This is what you're getting. Look how big these are. I could cut this in half and have, you can have 2 meals out of one, truly, because they are so big. They're half a pound each. There are 2 reviews right now on QVC.com, and they are both 5 stars. And I took a little just quote real quick because I thought you would get a kick out of it. One says, finally, a flavorful pork chop that isn't dry. That's what we were just talking about. Second one says, what else we were just talking about? These are fork tender and so decadent. They did that. This person did them with mushroom and onion gravy over egg noodles. And they said, 2 fed 4 of us. And they said, next time, we're just going to do simple grill and do it with applesauce.
It really is simple. You know, even as a butcher, you know, I'm just a butcher, not a cook. But every time I cook this, no matter how I cook this, my guests absolutely love it because it's tender, it's full of flavor, and it is big. It's 8 ounces, which means it's the biggest pork steak we've ever brought here, and it goes a long way. So very easily, your 8 steaks turn into 16. And each one is individually vacuum packed, and I think that's really important, especially when you talk about pork, right? Pork is the opposite of beef. We don't want to age pork. We want pork that's incredibly fresh, so as soon as it gets to us, it's never frozen. It's fresh, we bring it in, we cut it, we expertly trim all the fat completely off of it, and then of course we vacuum package it. The vacuum packaging seals in all the freshness, keeps out all the bacteria. So this is going to actually stay in your freezer for up to 12 months. But once you taste it, you will be pulling this out to make everything and anything you like.
Well, 400 of you will, because that's how many we have left. This is going very quickly. We knew it would. I have to remind you that it's not on auto delivery. So if you want to pick up multiples, it's $19.25 on Easy Pay. By the way, this price goes up at the end of the day if we have any remaining. On a Customer Choice Award winner, 18,000 people voted for this. It's like 18,000 of your very closest friends said, you have to get this and you have to keep it coming, which is why we usually do auto delivery. We just can't on this one right now. So now is the time to pick up multiple orders, because now 300 are remaining. And we don't always have, excuse me, we don't always have this.
No, we don't. And I will tell you that when you start with a piece of pork that comes from the Pennsylvania Dutch country, look at what you have here, right? You have beautiful premium pork. Now you'll notice how beautiful and moist this is. When you cook your pork, whether it's as a steak or a chop or you bake it, 145 degrees. You don't need to do what your grandmother did, which is cook it to 165 degrees, because look, with a fork, it keeps going. And at 145, it's just the perfect temperature. And look at this, right through it with a fork. Now you can't do that with a normal pork chop, right? You just can't do that. So people have loved it for as long as we brought it here to QVC. It's the largest we've ever brought. So it doesn't stick around long term, and that's why it's not on auto delivery. Right?
And it's straight from the butcher shop.
Yep, it's straight from the butcher shop, yes.
And which is right here. Let's take a look at that.
And that's my home for the last 47 years, working with my guests that come into the butcher shop every day. That's my family, and we've been fortunate enough to be here with QVC now for a number of years, and of course you're my family at home. And it's so important as a butcher that you trust the meat that you're getting. You trust the butcher who's preparing it, because for 47 years, that's what I have been able to do. So we're delighted to be able to bring our finest products really to QVC, make sure that we vacuum package them special just for you so that they last. So this will go any way you want. Trust me, when you try this, you'll never try anything but this pork steak.
And it is now last call. Please don't wait on your order, M88481. Speaking of family, I hear maybe around 4 o'clock tomorrow, you're going to have some special family members
We
here
are.
today,
It's going to be a fun day tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So,
yes.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
All right, now it's time for dessert, perhaps. Although we also have Egg Harbor Jumbo